to play the hero, 'cause I got you like you got me. When the earth shakes, when the bombs scream, until our last breath, every heartbeat. When your nightmares turn to real life and the ground's filled up with landmines, we will face it standing side by side. You know I'll come running when you need. I'm coming. You know I'll come running. You go to war, then I'm going with you. Pick up my sword, yeah, there's nothing I won't do. When you sound the alarm and the chaos is rising, leading the charge, yeah, I'm coming, I'm fighting. Swear on the breath that I breathe, I'll never retreat, yeah, I'll be your army. You go to war, then I'm going with you. Pick up my sword, yeah, there's nothing I won't do. When you sound the alarms and the chaos is rising, leading the charge, I'm coming, I'm fighting. Swear on the breath that I breathe, I'll never retreat, yeah, I'll be your army.
Waste another day, eyes on my display. You say we need a change, and I feel that you mean it. You mean it. But you're so right, we're losing track of time, buying things online, and it's not like we need them. We don't need them. So can we just slow down? The only thing I'll do is lay here next to you. We need to slow down. Embrace the love we found. For you and I, we're safe and sound. working around the clock. Now all we need is right here in front of us. In front of us. So can we just slow down? The only thing I'll do is lay here next to you. We need to slow down. Embrace the love we found. For you and I are safe and sound. Can we just slow down? And we just slow waste another day. I don't wanna stay. You say we need a change and feel that you mean it. It's just so right. We're losing track of time. Buying things online, it's not like we need them. Safe and sound. Stars fall at my feet, keep me grounded as I reach higher than I see. Is there something there for me? Pulling back the reins, letting go again. I'm not afraid. I'm not. All my life, one page at a time, I'll show you my true colors. No, no, I won't apologize for the fire in my eyes. Let me show you my true colors. It ain't your rainbow.
just follow your trail, and I'm losing your mind, and I'm losing your head. Let me escape from this love, cause I'm a prisoner. I just want to look my way and never back to you. Ooh, I'm not about it.
We are live.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Sim Zone. My name is Dan Davis, also known as Unorthodox, and welcome to the first round of a new season and season 2 of the Clios here at the Sim Zone. And for this season, there isn't a champion to defend their title. Sadly, this season I'm end up in the commentary box, so I will be commentating on these guys instead of racing against them. So the championship is wide open to any one of these guys. And to everyone who's currently watching, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you subscribe, and also make sure you hit the bell to be notified for when we are live. But we have a new season of Clio Championship, and it's just going to be as exciting as the rest. We are live here at Imola, a famous F1 circuit. Loads of drama have been here, and also famously known to lose one of the greats in F1. So let's have a quick run of the grid. Currently leading out on the circuit right now is John Boy, who is returned back for the Clios. We've got Grandad Steve, another guy who's very quick in the Clios and has always been very, very good in no matter what conditions he is. He can always extract the best out of that car. Sam Thumbfinger, one of the newer faces here at the Clios, and really made a name for himself in the GT3s last season, taking the title and even a couple of race wins in the I think he's also won the Touring Car Championship. And he won a couple of races here in the Clio, so keep an eye on him. Falguest, look at that lovely livery. He's going to be doing me proud here this evening because he is in my lucky number 16. That car there won the title last season. Let's see if Falguest can take it to glory once again. He's been doing really well on another league in the Clios, and oh, that's not the best way to start the season, mate, but we'll leave you to it. Delore, another fast guy in these Clios, always very good in a front wheel drive car, and it's nice to see Delore returning back once again to take on some of the greats. Kurt V23, also a good friend of Delore, the Belgian group, coming back once again. Team Camber really coming to try and take the title once again. McGlenn, a guy who's currently pushing and pushing, always looking to extract the best out of the car and try and get the most of what he has. So it's nice to see him pushing on, and he never ever quits a race. It's nice to see him constantly pushing and pushing all the way. Nick DeVillo's returning back to the Clios. Great laugh, good fun with him, and he's always up for a good fight. Good wheel-to-wheel racing for him, so he is a man to keep an eye on for the mid-pack and maybe to the top part of the podium as well. He could definitely spoil someone's day. Vliga, Delore's brother, another Belgian driver, Team Camber, once again here. Both these brothers are very, very quick in the championship, and you've got to keep an eye on them because they will catch you out at any point. WSRCJ returning again back to the Clios, and what a crack this guy is. He's a great laugh to have in the lobby. Good fun overall, and I've just been winding him up in the little build up to this, and it's nice to see Jay back. How much we laugh and joke. It is nice to see him, and he is a good driver, great fun, and he likes to put his Clios on two wheels as we've just seen there. Cobb, another man who's very, very quick on the right day, and he's another man to keep an eye on this season. He could be a couple of spoiler race wins here in that red Clio, and a couple of new drivers as well. II Silver, I think it's a friend of Melted Dazzler, I'm not 100% sure, but he has come into the championship, and let me say, he's got a difficult night ahead of him with some of the quality of drivers here, but I'm sure he'll get up to grips and onto terms very, very quickly. So we will see how he gets on later here this evening. Dan VWB, I think I've raced against Dan a couple of times, so it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. And again, the quality of drivers in these Clios is unreal. Motoring Morgan, one of the veterans in Renault Clio racing. You always see him in one way or another racing in these Clios, and he definitely has a rivalry between G. He likes to moan a lot, and he likes to get in the way of other drivers, but Motoring Morgan is definitely a man to keep an eye on to take the title and take race wins. He will definitely be coming through the pack if he has a good day. And finally, the only G, the Monster Energy guy, probably one of the quickest guys in the Renault Clios, also running the league here at the Sim Zone. He is racing the Clios once again, and he has definitely got multiple championships, multiple records here on the game, so keep an eye on the only G. But it's John Boy who currently sets the time so far of a 2:03.6 here at Imola, and I'm just going to get some information about the circuit while the guys are currently out on circuit. So like I said, a circuit based in Italy, Autodrome Italia circuit, the Autodrome International Enzo Di Dino Ferrari Imola. A beautiful circuit, has held some brilliant races here, and to be honest, it's probably one of my favorite old classic F1 circuits to come to, and hopefully we should see it on the new F1 game very soon. Just trying to find out the current layout. Is a 4.9 kilometer circuit, so 3 miles long with 19 turns, and the lap record currently held by Lewis Hamilton, a 2020 F1 Mercedes, of a 1:15.4, and I really don't think these Clios are going to get anywhere near that. Currently a grade 1 FIA circuit, and obviously holds some major events. And if you've seen on the F1 as well, it's a beautiful circuit, absolutely gorgeous here as well. So John Boy is actually going to come down the main straight, and I think, you know what, while we're here, we will take a lap with John Boy at Imola. A couple of comments in, guys, get your comments in, come and talk to me all night, like the stream, tell your friends, tell your family, as we run on board with John Boy for a lap here of Imola into turn 1. Not really a corner here, so you take it flat, and then into turn 2 and 3 and a chicane here. You want to clip the inside curb there, and then clip the other right hand curb as well. Run a little bit wide onto the curb, not that much, and then into turn 3, taking up all the curb on the outside, and then down the long, well, for a Clio it's a long straight, for anything else is a very short straight. Another chicane to take, and more curb you take, the better it is. Left-hander, and then into a right-hander. 4 and 5, take as much curb as you like. Watch out for the slowdowns, because here they will catch you out, and then into the slow hairpin. The hairpin, Michael Schumacher famously pushed Juan Pablo Montoya well out wide. Apparently Juan Pablo was not able to be seen by Michael Schumacher whatsoever there, as they now climb up the hill and then into this tricky left-hander. This left-hander is so easy to run wide, take too much curb and run off onto the rumble strip and get a slowdown, as John Boy has done so, and I think he's just kept it in terms. And they come down here, famously George Russell dropping it behind the safety car and into the wall, and then into a double right-hander. The next right-hander is a lot tighter and a lot slower, and make sure you are back on in the white line on the left-hand side so that you can come down this straight, as John Boy, I believe, has got a slowdown, so that's why he's backed off, and now he comes into the really tight chicane. To me, this is what makes Imola, this really tight chicane. You want to bounce over the right curb and then over the left, taking as much runoff as you possibly can without getting a slowdown, and then run down the hill, a long hill as well for these Clios. So as John Boy runs down the hill, he'll be looking to try and hit his braking point and turn on the apex into the final 2 left-handers and try and get a good exit through here, clip that apex, run out a little bit wide, make sure he gets a good exit so he can start his next lap, and without taking too much curve so he doesn't get a slowdown. The right hand side is your pit entry, and literally where the lights are is the pit limiter line. Down the main straight, a little kink here. You'd on the old circuit, you'd have a little chicane here just onto your left there, down the long straight, and John Boy towards the line will come home and set a lap time, but obviously due to the slowdown he won't be fastest. But Dan, currently the fastest man on track at the minute, he crosses the line and does improve even more. So Dan obviously looks like he's got pace in these Clios. The only G currently in second place as well, so he's looking to try and make some spots. John Boy in third, Moto Morgan in fourth, Grand SD currently in the pits, Dolore in sixth, Sam Thumfinger in seventh, Vliegek in eighth, Nick De Villa in ninth, McGlenn in 10th, WSRCJ in 11th, Valguest currently in 12th. I don't know what you're playing at, Valguest. Come on, man, let's get that Clio up a little bit higher, as Kurt gets a little infringement there for track limits as he's coming down the main straight for Valguest. Can he finally get it off 12th place position and do me proud? No, he can't. He stays in 12th place position, so Kurt currently in 13th. Can he improve? Cobb's actually just in front of him as well. So these guys, I believe, are setting their qualifying runs right about now. As Cobb crosses the line, does he improve? He does, and puts himself in 7th place. Kurt does not, and he will stay in that 14th place position. II Silver still trying to get to the grips. He says he hasn't driven on Project Cars in about 10 months or 8 or 10 months or something like that, he said. So he's still trying to get into the flow of things, and he will be the first man to complete his lap time here towards the final corner. Can he finally get a lap time on the board towards the line? What can II Silver do here this evening? And guys, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you subscribe to the channel and get your comments in. Who do you think is going to take the first win of the season here tonight, as II Silver does not improve and will stay in last place position? Who is first? I believe John Boy will be the first man to come across the line, as G says good luck. All the wall saying go G, and McGlenn. Pete says good luck guys, and Falco says I'll do you proud Dan, as John Boy exits the final corner here this evening. What can he do as Craig gets himself into the session? So we have got a full grid. John Boy towards the line. What is this going to be? Can he improve on a 203? He does. He just goes ahead of Motoring Morgan. Can Dan improve his gap? And he does. He finds a couple of hundreds there. So they have all improved. Who is next to come across the line? I believe it will be WSRCJ. Can he get himself into the top 10 positions in his bright yellow 58 Renault Clio? Love to see the Renault Clio's back once again. He does improve, but he does not go any higher than what he is. Motoring Morgan in 4th place and gets himself into 3rd. Cobb is the next man. Look at the way the car comes down the hill, braking it hard, as he actually opts to go into the pit. So it's just Kurt, I believe, is on the final lap, and he runs wide. So obviously he is going to be losing time. As Falger says, I couldn't get a clean lap in, so that's a shame for him. And Kurt practices a pit stop as he comes in. But that is your order for the first qualifying session here this evening. And it's Dan VW who currently takes the fastest lap of the night so far with a 2:02.5 and looking very good. But everyone knows with these Clios, it's all about slipstream, it's all about banging doors, and it's who's going to come out on top as well. So keep an eye on who you think is going to take this win. Guys, there's 13 people currently watching the stream. Get your predictions out. Who's going to take the first win of the season? A 3-race format here tonight, but it is Dan who will take pole position here from Neoni G, Motoring Morgan in 3rd, John Boy in 4th, Grandad D in 5th, and the rest follow on from that. Like I said, guys, let's get your predictions in on who you think is going to take the first win of the season. Clios are back. The championship is back. And let's have a look of the grid order. So, like I said, Dan VW on pole position with Dione G in 2nd. Motoring Morgan in 3rd place position with John Boy in 4th. Grandasty in 5th place position with Delore riding alongside next to him in 6th place position. On the 4th row of the grid, we've got Cobb and Sam Thumbfinger. Keep an eye on these two. They can make places later on this evening. In 9th place is the other Belgian brother of Valiga, currently in 9th with Nick Villa in 10th place position. McGlenn in 11th place. WSRCJ in 12th with Foul Guest in 13th place position. Kurt V23 in the 14th place position, and II Silver right at the back with Craig currently unable to race this session, but he will be back for race 2. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen, Italy, Imola, beautiful circuit. What is going to come of this race? Make sure you get your comments in, make sure you like the stream, and also try and do as much as we can here. Massive thank you to the Patreons as well, and a list of Patreon below who will tell you who has helped us out here. And if you want to be a part of that, then head over to the website www.thesimzone.com, sign up to become a Patreon and help us out as much as we possibly can. But we are soon about to get underway, a 20-minute race here at Imola, and it looks like it is going to be a hard race fought here this evening. Who's going to come out on top? I'm going to keep my eye on Ioni G. I think he's got a little bit more pace than Dan, but we will see, as I believe we are syncing up here. The revs are, the lights come on, the revs rise. And it's go here at Imola for race 1 of the Sim Zone. And it looks like the only G has got a better jump than Dan, and G will lead into turn 1 as the rest of the pack come filing down into turn 1. Lewis Hamilton and Verstappen famously running doors here as G leads the way as he gets a little bit sideways. What is the rest of the pack doing? It looks like everyone's relatively through the first couple of laps. Keep an eye on for Falguest to be running his way back up to the top of the pack, but it's the only G from Dan, and currently in second place. Motor and Morgan not too far behind from them as well, and then Grandad Steve holding up the rest of the pack. So the top three are starting to get away a little bit, but Grandad Steve is making sure he's trying to stay within distance of him as well and holding him on as soon as we possibly can. Tony Tanner, is it just the one race tonight? No, there's 3 races here tonight. So we got this one, which is a qualifying. It will be a random grid for race 2, and then there'll be a feature race for a race 3. So make sure you tune in and see all the action here this evening as they're all pushing as hard as they can. But it's the only G who leads the way, with Dan currently in that second place position. Motor and Morgan in third, Grandad Steve 4th, Delore 5th, Sam Plumfinger in 6th. Fleeguck has had a good start and got himself up to 7th place position. Cobb in 8th. John Boy's dropped right back down. He's been having problems and issues, so he's been the biggest loser in the first couple of laps, and he's going right round the outside of Cobb, and he gets that job done as Cobb comes back down the inside, and Nick DeVilla's going to have a look as well. But the only G, what's happened to G? He's dropped right back. He must have had a slowdown, but there's an incident at the back. That's Nick DeVilla and McGlenn rubbing doors and banging each other. McGlenn, I think, is not too happy about that one, and he loses out. Falguest struggling as there's more contact. Silver has made contact with someone else, so these guys are really struggling on this first half of the race, but it's Dan who leads them out. Now, with the only G taking a penalty by the looks of things and slowing down, Motor and Morgan in second, Delore in third and holding up G, and Sam Thumbfinger close behind, with Grandad Steve and Vliga not too far behind. Grandad's had an incident and he's lost a lot of places, but Morgan looking to try and make a move on Dan if he possibly can as they come down the back straight now. Morgan in the slipstream. He should get a better run into turn 1 than Dan. He's right there. Can he get the job done? Motor and Morgan changing gear. Can he do a nice clean overtake on Dan? He's going to have to go the long way around. Is he going to do a Russell and plow into the side of him? Not by the looks of things. Dan covers him off, and a great defensive drive from Dan, and Morgan will just have to wait a little bit longer, but they rub doors and Morgan's gone wide. Morgan's not going to be too happy about that one. He's going to be right onto the back of him as well, but this is just going to allow the likes of G and look at this pack of 5 coming up right behind. These guys are pushing just as hard. Sam Thumbfinger looking to try and make a way move if he can, but he's unable to do so. So Sam Thumbfinger just having to sit behind for this moment, as a lot of people are currently watching my private stream. They do not want to be watching my private stream. They want to be going on to the SimZone stream and watching all of this Clio action. The only G still leading them out right now of this pack of 5 with Sam Thumbfinger and Delore not too far behind. Grandad Steve in 6th, and 7th is Valiga, but these guys are losing touch with Motor and Morgan and Dan, who are currently pulling away. John Boy on his own at the minute, and he's dragging Falguest with him. Falguest actually has now managed to clear most of the traffic and is now going with John Boy, so maybe these two can work together and try and get themselves back up the pack if they possibly can. But right now, it's not working for him at this precise moment. Motor and Morgan seems to just come off the gas a little bit and is not able to get as close to Dan at the minute. So Dan's covering them off at the minute, but the only G will be hunting them down right now. And I need to get a sip of water right now because I've been talking for so long. So Motor and Morgan is trying his absolute best to get near the front, but he's unable to do anything about that. Falguest and John Boy are also racing each other very, very hard right now, and is trying to find a way through if he possibly can. So John Boy is under pressure here from Falguest, and Falguest gets it done on the inside and moves himself back up into that 8th place position. Falguest is now on the move and is moving his way towards the front, but he's got a long way to go yet because he's got this pack who are going at it. We've got Delore and Grandad Steve going at it side by side as they go into turn 1, but it looks like Motor and Morgan might have a run into turn 1 as well. He looks down the inside, but there's no space. Dan's got it covered. What is happening to Grandad Steve and Delore? Grandad Steve down the inside and gets that position done on Delore. He goes a little bit wide though, and the Camber brothers are coming through. Delore gets through. Can Vliga find a way through as well, trying to gain on the opportunity that Grandad made a mistake and looks to the inside. The more and more these guys race each other too hard, the more as Vliga goes down the inside, makes contact with Grandad, and he goes deep and losing out a position there. So all that hard work he's done trying to get past has come to waste, as Motor and Morgan has lost touch with Dan a little bit, as Delore cuts a little bit of grass there. That will definitely be a slowdown for him. Sam Thumbfinger just out of reach of these guys as well, so he's not quite able to stick with G, but G is now starting to bring the gap down to Morgan a little bit. Grandad Steve is also onto the back of Delore. That's going to be a fight that carries carries on. John Boy and Falguest also going at it as well. So keep an eye on them as they go. So I've got to send a quick message to the person who's currently sending me invites. Because I don't want to keep spamming up on my thing. So hopefully that person will get the message and will not be sending me any more messages. Sorry about that, guys. But Sam Thumbfinger now is under pressure from Grandad Steve. He's made a move on Dolore and is now moving his way up. Guys, hit that like button and subscribe as well if you haven't done so. And please spread the stream around. Let's get this Clio race as high as we possibly can. Get as many people in here as we possibly can. A new season, season 2, round 1 here at Imola. And already the Clios are putting on a great show. As you see in the background, Falguest has now caught on to Vliegak, and Vliegak's got a little bit of pressure from the green number 16 of Falguest, who is trying to hunt him down. He's taking John Boy with him. The rest of the pack have strung out a little bit. It's these little fights that are going on. Sam Thumbfinger now under pressure from Grandad Steve, so we keep an eye on them. Motoring Morgan, and I still said don't send me an invite, and he carries on. But Motoring Morgan now, he's just losing touch to Dan. Dan just seems to have him covered, but is unable to do anything about that right now. But not much Morgan can do. So Motoring Morgan in that second place position, trying to hunt down Dan, but there's nothing he can do as Grandad Steve has made that move on Dolore that we missed there. And Falguest has also got past the other Belgian brother of Vliegak and is now up into 7th place position. Can he catch Sam Thumbfinger and Grandad Steve as well? Fellow Cornishman Sam Thumbfinger and Falguest, so it's nice to see those two get up as high as they possibly can. I'll be supporting them as I'm a fellow Cornish lad myself, so we'll see how they get on as these two are actually going to go door to door now. Falguest really hunting down Sam Thumbfinger. He's out of slowdown because that's allowed Grandad Steve and Dolore to get past him as Grandad runs a little bit wide there. And he's got Dolore trying to hunt him down. G not quite able to match the leaders at the minute. Morgan and Dan are quite quick out in front at the minute, but John Boy is the current fastest man on circuit, a 2:03.0. He's currently, actually no, Falguest was a 2:0.02. He was the fastest man. As we see there, Vliegak's gone wide, and that's allowed John Boy down the inside and has made another position. Guys, we are only now coming up to the halfway point of this race, and there's been action all up and down this race. As I say that, the leaders are now going into the 2:02s. They're now starting to find a little bit more pace, but the rest of the guys are battling it hard. Falguest really onto the back of Sam Thumbfinger now. Can he find a way past? Can he get an opportunity to go down the inside as Sam Thumbfinger goes deep? That's going to allow Falguest to go around the outside. And a beautiful job done by him. Can now John Boy do anything about Sam Thumbfinger as Dolore's right onto the back of Grandad Steve just in the foreground there. So Sam Thumbfinger obviously yielding due to the fact that he had a slowdown, so he is lost out there to John Boy, and John Boy gains position, but Motoring Morgan has found 2/10 and is now bringing that gap down to the leader of Dan VWB. And the Only G also finding a little bit more pace and is able to try and catch him as well. Dolore, Grandad Steve battling it out for 4th and 5th place position, but Falguest not too far behind. He's really pushing hard, but the penalty system at the minute might be slowing some of these guys down. They might need to be finding more time, but at this precise minute, they are all battling it out like it's the last race of the season. 2 seconds, 1-1, and a couple other penalties here and there, but most of the guys... Oh, Dolore goes down the inside as Grandad Steve goes wide, and that's given Dolore that position. Motoring Morgan there looking quite close to the back of Dan VWB, but this is the fight. This is the closest racing that's out on track right now. As Dolore bounces over the curb there, John Boy sticking to the back of Falguest as Sam really bounces over the curb there and losing out. So Delore leads this train, but Grandad Stee is losing touch with Delore, and Delore's just escaping him a little bit. So Grandad is now going to be the mobile chicane for the rest of the guys. So can he find a way past? We will see, as Grandad Stee currently in that 5th place position. Falguest in 6th. John Boy in 7th place, and Sam currently in 8th. Can these boys find a way through? We will see, as we have got less than 10 minutes left of the session. Time flies when you're having fun, and these boys are giving it their all. Great racing here so far, as Falguest looks to the inside of Grandad Stee, and he looks like he's going to get the job done. Is John Boy going to follow him through? Grandad's been pushed out wide, and he makes contact with John Boy. Luckily, John Boy gets away with very little damage from that. And John Boy goes, drops back a little bit from Sam Thumweir, but he does gain on Grandad. Grandad drops down to 9th. And you'll probably get a slowdown for that. That's how annoying this game can be, as Motoring Morgan is right onto the back of Dan now. Also, the only G with only a second and a half behind these two. G's picking up penalties now, so he's going to be struggling to get past and then extend his gap. But Motoring Morgan is trying his absolute best right now. Can Motoring Morgan find an opportunity to get past him? He'll be looking all sorts of places, left and right, up and down, any position that he can find. He'll be trying his absolute best. Dan has just been doing a solid job of keeping him behind, but at this minute, Motoring Morgan does look like the faster driver. Can he find a way past? Morgan's just been waiting patiently as those two run a little bit wide, but they stay within track limits. Sam Thumbfinger once again is under pressure from Valiga. Valiga looks down the inside. Can he get the job done into the chicane? Sam has to yield as Valiga gets the position done. Good clean overtake there. They run a little bit wide. They might get a slowdown for that, as Grandad also just onto the back of these guys as well. Can he find a way past and regain some of the positions that he's lost? Kurt V23 having a great race with WSRCJ. Can Jay find a move down into the penultimate corner? He looks to the inside. We don't often get to see a lot of racing at the back, but Jay looks down the inside of Kurt. Can he get the job done? Oh, he nearly hits the back of him, but checks up. But he does get the opportunity as Kurt goes wide, and Jay is up into that position. Cobb is chasing down Nick DeVilla right now. Can he find a way past, as these guys are struggling at the back? But Motoring Morgan has lost touch to Dan. G is also trying to catch him as well, but he's obviously got the time penalties. But look at this squad here. John Boy, Vliga, Sam, all these guys battling it out. Oh, as you see there, Vliga goes deep and Sam hits him. Grandad Steve stuck in the middle of this as well. So Vliga really a mobile chicane at the minute, and these guys can't find a way past, as they're trying to do so, as Grandad Steve looks to the inside of Vliga, but there's no opportunity there. As I've just noticed as well, Falguest has now moved past Delore. Falguest is on a mission. Let's just remind you guys, Falguest near enough started dead last. He was second to last on the grid, and he's got himself all the way back up into that 4th place position. I think that's as best he's going to do here tonight, as Delore is not able to stick to the back of him. The only G still trying to find a way past on Dan, but Dan's got this completely covered right now. Oh, as you see, Cobb's just gone off. Sam Thumbfinger's dropped a little bit further back. What has happened here? As we've got Sam Thumbfinger, Grandad Steel all dropping back. I think Vliga's got a little bit of damage, but that's allowed Kurt V and Jay to move up a couple of places as well. So those guys gained some points out of that. So it must have been some sort of squabble between Vliga and Grandad Stee and Sam Thumbfinger, because those guys are all relatively close to each other. And sadly, we've missed all that. Just trying to see all the gaps. It's really difficult here. As you can see on the screen, the little triangle on the left-hand side of the screen will tell me when they're within a second of each other. And trying to keep an eye on all the guys right now is very difficult, as we're watching Grandad Stee on the back of Nick DeVilla. And he's trying to find a way past him if he possibly can. But Delore sticking to the back of Falguest, who's been hunted down by John Boy as well. So there's all sorts of fights going on. They're all within a second of each other, but they're not quite able to catch each other and give a good little fight. Guys, this has been an awesome first race of the season. Get your drivers of the day later on as well. Make sure you get your votes in on who you think is going to be driver of the day. Vote who you think will finish in the top 3. There's a load of polls that have been popped out there, so make sure you put in your votes as well, who you think will be the top 3 here this evening. Jay trying to defend from Valiga. Jay's just lost out to Kurt a little bit. Maybe he's had a slowdown. But Grandad is looking all over the back of Nick Davila. He looks to the outside, but he can't get the job done. He's just too far back. He's just going to have to wait for an opportunity to get past him if he possibly can. Grandad Steve currently under pressure from Nick Davila. Nick Davila goes very defensive, and I think Grandad might get the job done. Yes, he's got the job done before the corner is even come across. So Grandad Steve gets himself back up into 10th place, and I think Nick Connor made it easier for himself. He's just trying to stay out of trouble and get some decent points here for the start of the season. Round 1 here of the championship, and Dolore is still sticking to the back of Falguest. These two trying to hunt down the only G, who's lost a lot of time. If they catch G, they will just about get with some penalties from him. G with 3 penalties, Falguest 3 penalties. Dolore at the minute, if he can stick with these guys, they're going to gain some big points here from Dolore. So he just needs to hang in there. Motoring Morgan looks like he's just not able to do anything about Dan at the minute, and is just having to just sit there and just wait for an opportunity. Dan has got it covered though. As you see, this queue of cars, Kurt leading them away from WSRCJ. Valigak is there as well. As Jay gets a little bit closer, Grandad Steve's now trying to join the party as well. Morgan is even closer again. 3/10 separating these two, and he's trying to hunt them down. Dan is just hanging in there. He's probably got this lap and one more lap to go. Can he hang on for a little bit longer? Morgan looks to the inside, but there's no opportunity. As Dan just hangs in there. This is as close as Morgan's been. He's got a great run out of the chicane. Can he send one down the inside? This is for the race lead, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to try his very best and send it down the inside. But Dan doesn't go defensive. He just takes his line. He knows he can just carry on and take his racing line, and he'll be fine. Morgan's not going to try anything crazy. But will Morgan, he's gone defensive, Dan. Morgan's going to have to go the long way round. Can Morgan go right round the outside? No, Dan has it covered, and he covers the inside as well. Morgan has nowhere to go. Dan doing a fantastic job of keeping Motoring Morgan behind him. A brilliant defensive drive from him, and there's nowhere Morgan can go. Falguest has got Dolore hunting him down now. Clerk has got Jay and Valigak. Valigak's right onto the back of Jay as well. Fights are happening left, right and centre. Nick Davila is still on the back of Grandad Steve. The cameraman's awful there. And Valigak going around the outside there, trying to get past Jay, but he's unable to do so. Jay goes very defensive and shuts the door. He's not able to do so, but Valigak is going for the run. He's going to try and get the run on him. They'll be side by side as they go through the tricky left-hander at the top of the hill. Can Valigak get it stopped in time and within limits? Jay gives him plenty of space, and he does so. Great clean racing from these two, but Jay, if he sticks with it on the outside, he'll have the inside and try and go down the inside, but he won't be able to do so, and Valigak gets the job done. Can he do anything about Kurt? We will see. Dolore and Falguest still battling it out right now as well between these two. 6/10 separate those two at the minute. Right now, they're not quite within reach of the only G. So G looks like at the minute he's just going to hang on to this 3rd place position. So Falguest holding up Dolore is really affecting Dolore's race here. He's not able to get the points that he needs as Grandad has got past Jay. Looks like Nick Davila is going to have a run on WSRCJ. He's got a good toe here. Can he send it down the inside of Jay? He's going to look for it. Jay breaks later, but he's going to go deep, which allows Nick to come through and they make contact. Nick obviously lifting there, just allowing him through, but a 10th separates the leaders. Morgan's right onto the back of Dan again. This is the last lap. Can Morgan get the job done on the last lap? Dan defensive this time in the chicane. He's doing everything he possibly can to take the first win of the season. Morgan wants it so bad. He gets the run. They're side by side going into the hairpin. Can he get the job done right round the outside? It's going to be tricky to do so. Dan's still hanging in there, but Morgan has got the overlap. He's side by side with Dan, but he's still on the outside of the corner. They're going at it up into the left-hander. Brilliant racing from these Clio guys. This is for the race win on the last lap. Morgan has been so patient. He's waited so long for this opportunity. And he is about to gain all that patient racing, all that time sitting there waiting is about to pay off. Can he get the job done? He's still on the outside. Dan doing everything he can. Great racing from these two. Morgan couldn't be any closer to him right now. He is running out of time. He is running out of corners. Dan is doing everything right now. He looks to the inside. He's going for a late break, but he doesn't quite get it. Dan saw him coming. Look how close they are. Morgan catches the back. This is awesome stuff. But at the minute, Dan is doing everything right. He is just hanging in there. Can he take his first win here at SimZone in the Clios? He is going into the penultimate corner. Morgan hasn't got any answer for him. He exits the final corner. Dan is going to hang on and Morgan's got a great exit. It's going to be a drag race to the line, but I think Dan's done enough. Morgan's going for it. But it's going to be Dan. I don't think Morgan's got enough of a run. Or has he? They're going side by side towards the line. Who's it going to be? It's Dan. He takes the race win here this evening. Morgan in second. Yoni G will come home in third. Falguest will drop down to 5th place position. So Dolore will go to 4th. Falguest in 5th. John Boy will come home in that 6th place position there. As Kurt is still defending from Vliga. Vliga does have a penalty, so I think Kurt will just hang on to that one. Vliga goes in front. Oh, they rub doors. So Vliga will drop down to 8th place. Kurt will go 7th. Grandasty 8th, that's the Vliga 9th. WSRCJ in 10th. Nick will finish 11th. Cobb 12th. Sam Thumbfinger will finish in 13th. 14th will go the way of McGlenn, and not too far behind him as well is I Silver. What a start to the night, and already it's been a close racing here. Race 1 done, and this is your race winner. Dan VWB takes the first win of the season. Brilliant stuff from him. He takes the first blow. Motoring Morgan. Okay, Morgan was going flat out there, but there you go. Dan takes the race win, and it's he takes the win here. Morgan in second. G with the fastest lap. No, actually, John Boy was a bit quicker. G in third. Dolore in fourth. Falguest in fifth. John Boy in sixth. 7th goes the way of Kurt. 8th is Grandasty. 9th is Vliga. 10th is Jay. 11th is Nick Villa. 12th is Cobb. 13th is Sam Thungbinger. 14th is McGlenn. And 15th is I Silver. And G... nope, it's John Boy who has the fastest lap of the race. Guys, make sure you come in back in a moment's time, as we will have race 2 underway. But for a minute, grab a coffee, grab a drink, grab something to eat, and we'll see you in a second.
Seeing monsters at your window. No, you can't sleep, you pretend though. You don't have to play the hero. Cause I got you like you got me. When the earth shakes, when the bombs scream, until our last breath, every heartbeat. You know I'll come running. You go to war, then I'm going with you. Pick up my sword, yeah, there's nothing I won't do. When you sound the alarm and the chaos is rising, leading the charge, yeah, I'm coming, I'm fighting. Swear on the breath that I breathe, I'll never retreat, yeah, I'll be your When your nightmares turn to real life and the ground's filled up with landmines, we will face it standing side by side. You know I'll come running when you need. I'm coming. You know I'll come running. You go to war, then I'm going with you. Pick up my sword, yeah, there's nothing I won't do. When you sound pick up my sword, yeah, there's nothing I won't do. When you sound the alarms and the chaos is rising, leading the charge, I'm coming, I'm fighting. Swear on the breath that I breathe, I'll never retreat, yeah, I'll be your army.
Waste another day, eyes on my display. You say we need a change, and I feel that you mean it. You mean it. But you're so right, we're losing track of time, buying things online, and it's not like we need them. We don't need them. So can we just slow down? The only thing I'll do is lay here next to you. We need to slow down. Embrace the love we found. For you and I are safe and sound. And we just slow down. For you and I are safe and We were on the run, rocking around the clock. Now all we need is right here in front of us. In front of us. So can we just slow down? The only thing I'll do is lay here next to you. We need to slow down. Embrace the love we found. For you and I are safe and sound. Can we just slow down? And we just waste another day. I will not play. You say we need a change, feel that you need it. But you're so right, we're losing track of time, buying things online, it's not like we need them. Safe and sound.
Stars fall at my feet, keep me grounded as I reach higher than I see. Is there something there for me? Pulling back the reins, letting go again. I'm not afraid. I'm not. All my life, one page at a time, I'll show you my true colors. No, no, I won't apologize. tells me I know nothing at all. I've escaped my capture, and I have no master. I promise with a lie that's broken by design. But what I thought I knew has been swallowed by the truth. It's time to light the flame right before it rains. I'm not afraid. I'm not. Oh.
Right, we're live.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Sim Zone, and we're about to get underway for race 2 of the Clio Cup Championship. Dan taking the first strike of the season here at Imola. And we got a reverse, oh, sorry, not reverse, we got a random grid here this evening. So it's Kurt V23 who's on pole position with McGlenn in second, Grandad D in third, Nick Davila in fourth, WSRCJ in fifth, Sam Thumbinger in sixth, the only G in seventh, Falguest in eighth, II Silver in 9th place position, 10th place is Motor Morgan, 11th is Vliga, 12th is Cobb, 13th is Craig, 14th is Dan, 15th is Delore, and John Boy is the unlucky sod who starts at the back. But here we go, guys, we're about to get underway for race 2. It's going to be an interesting race, 20 minutes here, random grid. Who is going to come out on top, guys? Who do you think is going to win? As we're about to sync up, and away we go here for Imola, race 2 of the Clio Cup Championship. The Reds arrive, the lights come on. Who's going to get the race win? And we go here for race 2 as we see Falguest has a decent start in the background, but Kurt pulls away cleanly. And it's a couple of guys. Jay's right onto the backside of Grandad Steve right now, and he's looking for an inside opportunity there. This could be messy into turn 1. But they're all going into turn 1 relatively clean. Everyone gives each other space. There's contact at the background by the sounds of things. Nope, they all get through relatively cleanly. Motor Morgan struggling on the dirt. He's dropped to the back a little bit. II's been caught up in something, so he's dropped to 16th place position. But Kurt leads the way. McGlenn in second, Grandasty right onto the back of him as well as they all go through the first couple of corners. But it is Kurt who leads the way. Grandasty right behind us. Sam Thumbinger makes a move on Nick Davila. Falguest looks to move on Jay, and G goes with him as well. The only G looking down the inside and trying to get the move done as well. Motor Morgan battling it out with a couple of guys at the back of the pack. Grandasty looking to make a move on McGlenn up to the left-hander. This is the perfect opportunity for Grandasty. He's got a good chance of taking a race win here, and he needs to clear these guys as quickly as he possibly can while the others are battling hard. Nick Davila's got everyone behind him. Sam Dumbinger, Falguest, and Jay, including the only G as well. All these guys battling at it as they go really sideways. Jay goes really wide, and I think Craig went with him as well. A lot of guys running wide there up in that corner there, but it looks like Grandasty is going for the lead on Kurt, and he goes down the inside and he leads after lap 1. Grandasty leads race 2 here at the Sim Zone, and he goes down the back straight towards the final few corners, but Kurt's got to run. Guys, if you like this action, then make sure you go over to the website www.thesimzone.com and get yourself signed up for the new season for Clios, ACC GT3s, Project Cars GT3s, and the touring cars on a Sunday night. Get yourself signed up, and also a massive thank you to the patrons as well, who all do a massive job here of making sure that these streams look as good as they do, and all the help that they give here at the Sim Zone is ideal for these guys. But it's Grandasty who leads the way, Kurt in second, McGlenn in third, Sam Thumbinger in 4th place, Falguest in 5th, G in 6th place position, looking to make a move on Falguest. On the inside he goes. Can he get the job done into turn 1? It looks like he will. It looks like Nick Villa's gone wide on the grass there, and G moves himself up into that 5th place position. John Boy has made his way up from 7th place. John Boy started last and he's 7th place. He has had a phenomenal start here. Brilliant stuff as G is now looking to try and make a move on Sam Thumbfinger, really starting to put... Oh, Sam and G are in the wall! These guys have made contact somewhere, and G is slowing right down to let Sam through. Look at the guys behind. They're now making their way through. He's motoring. Morgan's dropped right to the back, and Sam Thumbfinger is struggling to get past G. G's trying to let all these guys through so that Sam can be let through. So some of these top guys really struggling in this race here. And it's just allowing Grandad Steve to disappear right now, as McGlenn is now the mobile chicane, as Falguest and John Boy once again glued to one another, is trying to find a way past McGlenn. McGlenn under serious pressure right now. Falguest is really caught between a rock and a hard place right now, but he looks like he's got the run on McGlenn, and he looked like he'll take the inside of the chicane. And look who's just behind them. Dolores looking to try and make an opportunity, but McGlenn breaks later and holds the position. Falguest not able to get the job done, and that's allowing Grandad Steve to get further and further away. Brilliant racing from them. WSRC-J had a good start as well. He's in 8th place position. He's got Cobb, Craig, G and Sam Thumbfinger all battling it out. Motor and Morgan and Dan still at the back of the pack. Not the start they would have wanted, but McGlenn, look at him defending from these guys. McGlenn's actually starting to catch Kurt. Kurt looks like he's made a mistake somewhere or has just gone off a little bit, but he's trying his very best to hold on to this position. These guys not normally up the top, and it's nice to see them battling it out for once. This reverse grid and the random grid really does give opportunities for these slower guys to really battle it out, as Falguest goes down the inside of McGlenn and he gets the job done. Moves up another place. Can John Boy get the job done now? He will want to try and clear him as quickly as he possibly can. We're on board with John Boy right now, really getting on to the back of McGlenn, and he's got the run. Can he get the job done into the chicane? He does so, and he gets through past McGlenn. Dolores next. Can he find a way through? He's got a run on McGlenn. McGlenn's getting absolutely mugged. Dolores down the inside, better on the brakes, and gets the job done. But Kurt is now getting mugged by Falguest and John Boy. So Kurt losing 2 places on the exit of that hairpin there, and has lost out massively. Falguest is now in 2nd. Can he do anything about Grandad Steve, who's got a gap of 2.5 seconds right now? He has disappeared in the distance. Can the others catch up and do anything about that? WSRC-J still defending from Cobb and the Only G. What can they do about him right now? They are trying their best to clear this traffic and catch the leaders. But it is Falguest who leads the way with Grandad Steve who leads the way with Falguest in 2nd. John Boy in 3rd. Kurt in 4th. Dolores and McGlenn all battling it out there. 2 Belgian friends of Kurt V23 and Dolores just defending right now from one another and attacking as well, trying to find any opportunity they can to get past, but it's unable to do so. So Dolores will just have to wait a little bit longer to try and find a way past. Nick De Villa is catched onto the back of McGlenn. And also that's a good little fight. Cobb has finally got past Jay. Can G now get past them as well? Sam Thumbfinger really struggling here tonight and is not able to stick to the back of these guys, as the Only G will now be looking to try and make a move, but Jay is coming back at Cobb. Can he send it back down the inside as he looks to the outside here down the main straight? Can he get the job done? Cobb just has to defend the inside, and can he do anything about him? Not at this precise minute, but G is having a look on the outside with Jay. Jay gets it stopped and gets around the outside of Cobb. Brilliant stuff there from Jay. That was a fair move, as we see Craig going straight on in the background. The Only G now looking to make a move. We're going to go 3 abreast down into the the chicane. Can G be brave enough on the brakes? Cobb's trying to be brave on the outside, and he gets the job done. G gets past Jay. Sam's now involved. G's going to get the switch on Cobb. And Cobb is going to lose the run down in the hairpin, but he will have the inside. He'll be able to defend it. Can G go right round the outside of Cobb? Oh, he's going to give it a go, and he looks like he gets the run. Cobb compromised with his slow exit and is just going to lose out to the Only G. So G playing that brilliantly, clearing 2 cars within 1 sector. So brilliant stuff from him. And Sam Thumbfinger's gone with him as well. Sam goes around the outside of Cobb, but he can't quite get the job done. So now Jay looks down the inside. Motor Morgan wants a bit of the action. This is great racing from these lot. And while I've been going on about these guys, Grandad Steve's lead has been cut to half. and near enough been caught right up. Morgan gets past Jay. Can Dan get past Jay now? 8th all the way down to 14th. These guys are battling it out just for these smaller positions. As G now pulls away, Jay makes a big mistake and loses out. But Falguest has caught Grandad Steve. Pumping in some decent lap times, and John Boy has gone with him. So these two are hunting him down. Dolores not too far behind, and Kurt's catching him as well. These two sticking to the pace. McGlenn and Nick Villa have been doing a fantastic job just to stick with this pack, as McGlenn has got a time penalty by things and lets Nick Villa through. Great racing all the way up and down the grid. G and Sam are pulled away. Dan and Morgan have gone past. What has happened to Jay? Cobb's lost out as well. So Cobb, something's happened to Cobb. But Motor, Morgan and Dan carry on their fight from race 1. But the only G has now extended his gap from Sam. Dan currently trying to defend from Motor Morgan. Morgan looking to the outside. G was getting, Morgan was getting frustrated sitting behind Dan for near enough 10 laps of this the race before, and he stopped behind Dan once again. So Morgan is going to be really annoyed that he stopped behind him, but he wants to clear him as quickly as he possibly can. But at the minute, he can't find a way past. Grandad Steve, though, still leads, but he's got Falguest and John Boy breathing down his neck. Can they find a way past? We will see as they come up to the top of the hill. But Falguest is doing so well to keep up the pressure of John Boy right behind him. John Boy all over the back of Falguest. He probably doesn't want to get past him. He wants to use him, try and get past Steve if they can. Get an opportunity to get some good points here. Morgan and Dan with down in 10th and 11th place. Kind of roles reversal a little bit. They're having a bad race while these guys are having a good race. They had their bad race, race 1. Steve obviously wants to make sure that he has... Oh, he gets on the curb. That's going to be a slowdown for sure. And that's going to give Falguest the run that he needs to take the race lead. John Boy is just behind. He can't let Falguest get past. And Grandad Steve split them. John Boy will have to go with them. As Falguest looks all over the back of him and Steve's just hanging in there. But Falguest trying his absolute best right now to get past Grandad Steve. He couldn't be any closer if he tried. He's right onto the back of Grandad Steve. But anything happens between these two, and John Boy is in the driver's seat. We'll go on board with John Boy. He can see a better view of this. Can Falguest go right round the outside of Grandad Steve? Grandad's defending the inside. Falguest is going for it. A beautiful move there from Falguest. He gets the job done, and now John Boy's coming through. He's looking to try and capitalise as he can. And that's just allowing Dolores in the background just to start creeping on him. And John Boy looks to the outside of Grandad. Can he get the job done? No, he can't do a Falguest and go around the outside. Oh, Falguest has gone wide. This is going to allow Grandad to come back for the race lead. As he does so, Falguest makes that mistake and he drops right back. John Boy in second place now. Falguest drops to third. Great racing from these Clios. What else is going on? Kurt is now losing out to Nick DeVilla. Nick DeVilla being hunted down as G goes right around the outside of McGlenn and gets that job done. Sam is getting hunted down by Dan and Morgan. Morgan still can't find a way past him. But right now, Craig is having a fight with Vliegek and Cobb at the back of the pack. But we go back to the leaders. Grandad Steve, John Boy and Falguest all battling it out for the podium positions. So Grandad Steve still holding on to this race lead. He's got 8 minutes left. Can he hang on for a race win? Can he start the season off to a good start this season? Can he get one in the bag? As John Boy also wants a race win. Falguest wants a race win. All these guys in solid points right now. Dolores the next car behind, and he's got a time penalty, so he won't be able to do much with that. The only G currently in 7th place and got McGlenn not too far behind him. And Sam Thumfinger, Dan as well in that 10th place position. And Motor Morgan not too far behind either. As I see Sam Thumfinger looks to the outside of McGlenn. And he gets the job done right around the outside. And McGlenn drops down another place. However long he was hanging in there is now losing place after place. Awesome stuff from these guys. Look at John Boy now. It's his turn to attack. Falgas looking. John Boy goes for a late dive, but he can't do nothing about it. Grandad's gone deep. He's going to cut the chicane. And he's going to lose out to these two. John Boy's on the dirt. So Grandad losing out big time to these guys. So now it's Falgas versus John Boy. John Boy gets his break in. Look at that. Brilliant racing from these guys. Clean, fair. As Grandad Steve will be frustrated that both of them have got past after a little mistake from himself. So now John Boy leads this race from Falgas from Grandad Steve. The changes keep happening as Motor Morgan has finally got past Dan. And Dan will have to settle for 10th place at the precise minute. McGlenn in 11th place, not too far behind them. Sam Thumbfinger is ahead and Motor Morgan will plan to try and hunt him down. Nick DeVilla is trying to find a way past Kurt as we go back to the lead. Falgas has got a run on John Boy. John Boy goes very defensive. Falgas is going to go around the outside. As Grandad Steve sitting there watching this thinking, yes boys, you keep racing and I'll come on to the back of you and try and gain a position. John Boy to the inside defense from Falgas. Grandad Steve just waits for something to happen, but this has just allowed Delore to catch the pack. Falgas on two wheels. John Boy's got a great run out of the chicane and Falgas losing out there as Grandad Steve goes through. Awesome stuff. The leaders keep swapping and changing, and I believe if these guys don't stick with John Boy, he will disappear. And John Boy now leads the race and is extending the gap a little bit as these two are too busy fighting each other. I believe Grandad Steve and Falgas are quite good friends, so they'll be working together possibly to try and catch John Boy back up. But they're staying in the tow. John Boy trying to break the tow by staying as close to the wall as he possibly can, but is not able to do so. They are catching him really quickly. Nick DeVilla has got the only G right behind him now as Nick DeVilla goes to the outside, not really defending as such. And G will get that position relatively easy, I would say. As he does so, he slips in between Kurt and Nick DeVilla. Just behind, Motor Morgan has now passed Sam Thumbfinger, and Dan makes contact with Sam and they both go sideways. It's Grandad Steve currently in second place at the minute. John Boy gets on the curb. He might get a penalty now. He might get a slowdown. Grandad Steve all over the back of him, weaving left, right, and trying to find a way through. But he's unable to find a way past. John Boy goes a little bit wide. That's going to allow Grandad. And John Boy's got to slow down. Grandad Steve's back into the race lead. Falgas goes second. Can Delore now get past John Boy? No, he can't. He's going to have to just stay in that 4th place position. So Grandad Steve now back into the race lead. Falgas in second, John Boy in third, and Delore in 4th place position. Guys, this is some epic racing here from the Clios. Brilliant stuff from them. As Kurt is defending from the only G and Nick DeVilla right now, and he's trying his absolute best, but G's all over the back of him. It's only a matter of time before G will find a way through. This is your leading pack. Grandad Steve, Falgas, John Boy and Delore batting it out for 1, 2, 3 and 4. Kurt batting it out for 5th, 6th and 7th as G goes around the outside of Kurt, but he will get the better drive out the corner. And G looks like he's got a run on him as Delore's lost a lot of time. So's John Boy. These guys have lost time with the leaders, so they need to get back onto him as quickly as they can, or else John Boy and Delore will not be able to find an opportunity pass. G goes down the inside of Kurt and he gets the job done in the penultimate corner. Can Kurt come back at him? Can he use the toe? We will see. A lot of curb there from Kurt. But G has managed to get himself back in front. Guys, if you love this action of Clios, then have a look on the website, www.thesimzone.com. Ignore exactly everything I said. Thesimzone.com. And get yourself signed up for the Clios here and be a part of the action. Do you think you can do a better job than these guys? But Kurt is not able to stick with G at this precise minute. Grandad Steve is now starting to pull a little bit on Falgas. John Boy's dropped down to 4th place. But Delore and Falgas both have a penalty. So at the minute, these two will not take the race win at this precise minute. They're losing out the a second each for both of them. So Delore and Falgas, even if they clear Grandad, they need to clear a second, and they still might not be able to win the race. So they really have to be careful on track limits. John Boy, currently the only man who could really challenge Steve right now. Grandad trying his very, very best just to hang on. Yoni G has cleared these lot, but Kurt sticking with him and is going to try and find a way past him if he can. Moto Morgan has cleared Sam Thumbfinger and Dan, who are both still battling it out, and Kurt and Craig are the only other fights on circuit. But we stick to the leaders. Falguest looks like he's got a great run out of the chicane. Can he send it down the inside on Grandad Steve? We will see. As they come into the chicane, and Grandad Steve just hangs in there. Delore had a good run out the chicane there. John Boy just backed off a little bit. Maybe he's just observing a little bit, making his time, wondering when's the best opportunity to attack. Falguest very good on the brakes there. You see the whole car just drop to the floor as Falguest is trying everything to get past. He needs to get past Grandad Steve and then disappear, even if he wants to have a chance to win this race. But Grandad Steve doing everything he possibly can. This will be the final lap. Grandad Steve's just got to hang on for one more lap. Can he do so? Sam is under a lot of pressure from Dan. We will come back to that a little bit later on, but Falguest goes to the outside. Is he brave enough to do the brakes again? No. Grandad this time is able to hold him back. Delore has a little tap. John Boy's back involved as well. Can John Boy get past Delore? He needs to clear these two, and then he can go for Grandad Steve. Really, John Boy and Grandad Steve are favourites here to win this race due to Falguest and Delore's penalties. As Falguest goes deep, and that's going to be another slowdown. That might be the lifeline that Grandad Steve needs. Falguest flashing his light, saying that he needs to slow down due to a penalty. John Boy might not be able to win this race now, as these two are holding him up. Grandad Steve's getting away. Looks like Grandad Steve, he just needs to keep the last few corners pretty clean and stay on track, and he will be able to win the second race here tonight. Falguest in second, third is Delore. John Boy at this precise minute will go up into second place, but he needs to clear these two and hope that Grandad makes a mistake, but I think Grandad's done enough. G and Kurt 5th and 6th, Moto Morgan 8th. 9th is Dan. I missed the video who's in 7th. Dan is ahead of Sam Thumbfinger now. McGlenn in 11th. Vliga 12th. Craig 13th. 14th is Cobb. 15th is Jay and II Silver at the back of the pack. But Grandad Steve has done everything right this race. He has fought it out to take this win. He's just got a couple more corners to go. John Boy is now ahead of Delore. Is he still within reach of Falguest? Not quite. And Falguest still has that 1 second penalty. But it's going to be this man. Grandad Steve exits the final corner now. Grandad Steve, a brilliant drive. Brilliant defensive drive. And when he got past, he was very offensive as well. To come home to take a solid race win here. Second different winner here this evening at the Clios. Congratulations, Grandad Steve, for the race win here in race 2 at Imola. Second place will go the way of John Boy and Falguest in third. 4th place go Delore. 5th will go the only G. 6th will be Kurt V23. 7th is Nick DeVilla. 8th is Moto Morgan. Dan will take 9th. Sam Thumbfinger in 10th. McGlenn will come home in 11th place position. 12th will go the way of Vligak. 13th, I believe, will go the way of Cobb, as Craig is not able to stay ahead of it. Cobb goes up into 12th. Craig goes 13th. Vliga 14th. Jay will come home in 15th place. And II Silver will bring up the rear in 16th place position. I want to also say a massive thank you to the main sponsor here of the Sim Zone, of Silent X Energy. Massive thank you to them for sponsoring the Clios. But it is this man, Grandad Steve, takes the race win here in race 2 at Imola. Brilliant stuff from him. Very well thought out race. He just hanged in there as Falguest, John Boy and Delore put him under massive pressure. Guys, that is the Clio race 2. Make sure you join us in a moment where we will have the feature race, a pit window and a pit box. They will have to make a mandatory pit stop. Strategy will come into effect here as we're just waiting to see who will have the final standings here. II Silver whereabouts on track. He is now coming home to finish the race. Brilliant stuff from him. Awesome stuff to see him carrying on and finishing this race. But that is it, guys. That is your race 2. Grandad Steve, who takes the race win here this evening. And I think John Boy John Boy will take second, Falguest in third, Delore in fourth, fifth will go the Only G, sixth is Kurt V23, seventh is Nick DeVilla, eighth is Mojo Morgan, ninth is Dan, 10th place goes to Sam Thumbinga, 11th is McGlenn, 12th is Cobb, 13th is Craig, 14th is Vliga, 15th is Jay, and II Silver brings up the rear. Fastest lap of the race goes to Motoring Morgan with a 2:02.0. No, actually, sorry, it was Delore, a 2:01.9, so Delore takes the race fastest lap. Guys, make sure you tune in a little bit later on. Grab a cup of tea, grab a coffee, grab some food for the final race. This is going to go down to the wire. Who's going to take the final win in the feature race? But for a minute, grab a drink. We'll be right back after this break.
Seeing monsters at your window. No, you can't sleep. You pretend though you don't have to play the hero. 'Cause I got you like you got me. When the earth shakes, when the bombs scream, until our last breath, every heartbeat.
Waste another day, eyes on my display. You say we need a change, and I feel that you mean it. You mean it. But you're so right, we're losing track of time, buying things online, and it's not like we need them. We don't need them. So can we just slow down? The only thing I'll do is lay here next to you. We need on the run, rocking around the clock. Now all we need is right here in front of us. In front of us. So can we just slow down? The only thing I'll do is lay here next to you. We need to slow down. Embrace the love we found. For you and I are safe and sound. Can we just slow down? And we just slow waste another day. I'm on my day. You say you need a change, feel that you need it. It's just so right. We're losing track of time, buying things online, not like we need them. Safe and sound.
Stars fall at my feet, keep me grounded as I reach higher than I see. Is there something there for me? Pulling back the reins, letting go again. I'm not afraid. I'm not. All my life, one
Love the chat.
Ah,
Right.
alright, mate.
We're live.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Sim Zone, and we're about to get underway for the feature race here. First things first, we're going to determine the grid. After this round, this will be the only qualifying session that these guys will be doing. The next round will be at... Let me have a look at all the info of the Clios. But round 2 of the championship will be at the Silverstone International Circuit. And whatever the grid order is of the feature race, I believe. Reverse grid over formation. That I believe that is race results of race 3. So the feature race will be the determine grid in reverse for the first round of the next round. So whatever this grid order is, they will be reversed for the next round at Silverstone International. Then there'll be another random grid, and then they'll do another qualifying for the feature race. 17 laps here at Imola is what we are going to be having for the feature race, and these guys will have to do a mandatory pit stop. Having a biscuit at the same time while we watch the qualifying session. But who looks like they are on the end of their lap. Kurt is only now coming out. As looks like Dan Motu Morgan is going to be the first man to complete a lap time. So what is the benchmark that Morgan is setting here this evening? He crosses the line and he will set a lap time of nothing. Nicely done, Morgan. Dan will set the pace of a 2:02. Who is next to come across the line? We've got a whole flock of cars coming here, and I believe Nick De Villa is one of them. Vargas goes second at the minute with a 2:03. And he goes in third place position. Dolore comes across the line. He can only do fifth place position, but Diony G goes into pole position at this precise moment. Vliga towards the line. Can he improve on his position? Where's he going to be? Cobb comes across the line and goes 7th. Vliga across the line. He goes 8th. Is that Sam Thumbfinger just behind? He doesn't set a lap time. Grandad Steve back into the pits. Who's next to come across the line? It's WSRCJ towards the line. And he goes into 8th place position. And so far, that is your good position so far. A couple of guys not able to put a lap together. McGlenn comes out the final corner. What lap time can he produce here at Imola? Remember, guys, this is a qualification grid here for the feature race, so pole position and positions is going to be key. McLaren crosses the line and he goes into 9th place position. So next man to come across the line will be Motoring Morgan. To the current people who are watching the stream, make sure you get in and like and subscribe to the channel. I want to say a thank you to Silent X Energy as well, to sponsoring the Renault Clios here. Well, they're not. By not swing, they're not, I don't think. But massive thank you to them. Also, have a look at the Patreon system as well. I want to say a massive thank you to our Patreons, the guys who help and support the guys here. Nikki, 77, The Wall, Windsor, Kenny, Jamal, F1 RC, Motoring Morgan, Camber, Marty Road Racing is life, Duke Martin, M. Afford, Valeside, Tiger Man, Wolf Guy, ESR Chef, X-Mech Online, Ratchet Ass, and Dolore. A massive thank you to all those guys for all your hard-earned cash that goes towards putting on some great racing here and a great show for you here at the Sim Zone. Also a reminder, like I said, it's a new season, and if you want to be a part of the championship, then have a look on the website to be a part of the action here. We have the Renault Clios here on a Tuesday night, one of the closest racing you will ever see on Project Cars. And then later on in the week, we do have the Project Cars GT3s back with ACC on the PlayStation and on the PC as well. So you can take your fancy to the PC and you like your ACC, your Assetto Corsa Competizione, then have a look at that as well. And then Sunday night we finish things off with another ACC GT3 Championship, but on the PlayStation. And then we finish the week off with a bit of touring car action on the Sunday night. But that is everything there is to say. McGlenn will not get another lap time in, even though he's exiting the pits. He will not get another lap time in. Motoring Morgan is coming through the final sector. He might get one more lap in by the looks of things. I'm not sure who the car in front of him is. It might be it's Grandad Steve. He's coming towards the line, and I think this is his out lap. So Grandad Steve will come across the line. He hasn't set a lap time yet. He needs to get one on the board though. He does, but it's obviously quite a slow one. That's probably because of his out lap. Motoring Morgan towards the line. Can he do any better? He goes to 4th place position. Dan goes into 2nd. 9,000ths of a second off the only G. Where is G? He's coming through the final corner. Now John Boy goes fastest. Oh, sorry, the only G I thought was on pole, but it's actually John Boy who is fastest. The only G exits the final corner now. What can he do? Has he found a little bit more pace? Has he found that magic 10th and put himself a little bit higher from these two guys towards the line? He does. He does a 2:01.9. A brilliant lap from him. Where is John Boy? He's had traffic, so it might not be his best lap. It's not, as Craig lets him through. Who else is coming towards the line? That's Verliguk and Cobb towards the line. Cobb goes into 6th. Verliguk will go up into 8th place. He stays in 8th place position. Who's next to come across the line? There's a couple others. Sam Thumbfinger crosses the line and still hasn't set a lap time. And Kurt still and Craig all yet to set a lap time here this evening. So back to a Grandad Steve. Nick the Villa's in the pits. McGlenn's in the pits. And also Motoring Morgan. Morgan is done for the night. So Grandad Steve will be our first man to come across the line. Who's going to take pole position, guys? Get your votes in. Get your predictions in. Morgan is done for this, and he'll be best position is 4th. G is done. He thinks he's done enough for pole position. Grandasty 6.8 up on his best. That should get him near the front with Falguest and Cobb and the likes of those guys. What can Grandasty? Can he hook the final sector up and get himself a little bit higher? Grandasty is the first man to come towards the line. What can he do? Guys, make sure you smash and hit that like button and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified for when we are live here on YouTube. But here comes Grandasty towards the line. He goes 9th. Not the best lap from Grandasty. He can do better than that. Our race winner from race 2, Dan, our race winner from race 1, goes across the line and does not improve. John Boy is still out on track. Cobb is still out on track. Delore as well. These two are next to cross the line. Delore is really out of position as well. He needs to get a lap in, but John Boy's been using his toe. John Boy must be having a good lap. If it wasn't, he would be going into the pits right now. But John Boy is sticking with it. He's getting a lovely toe off the back of Delore's Clio. This should be interesting. Where should these two pop up? Cobb is the last man. Delore crosses the line. And he goes 11th. John Boy doesn't improve. And Cobb gets a place grid penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So the only G will take pole position with John Boy in 2nd and Dan VW in 3rd place position, Motor Morgan 4th and Falguest in 5th. That is your top 5 and we're about to get underway. Guys, this is going to be an interesting race. The pit window will be important as well. These guys will have to pit and make sure they get their mandatory pit stop done. So let's have another quick look at the order. The night has gone, night is set in, the sun has gone for the final race here of the Clio action at the Sim Zone. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and have a look at the website www.simzone.com, and also have a look at the Discord as well, where all the chat is hanging about. So your front row here this evening for the final race tonight is the only G on pole position with John Boy in 2nd, locking out the front row. 3rd will be Dan and Moto Morgan, who haven't been leaving each other all night long, so they'll make the 2nd row. 3rd row is Falguest and Nick De Villa. Brilliant qualifying there for Nick De Villa to get himself into 6th place position. 4th row go the way of Cobb and Fleeger in 7th and 8th place position. 5th row of the grid, Grandasty in 9th, and 10th will go to Kurt V23. Grandasty obviously our race 2 winner. 6th row of the grid, Delore and WSRCJ. Delore really struggling in qualifying, not where he should be really. And then 7th row of the grid, McGlenn and Craig in 13th and 14th, and Sam Funfinger brings up the rear as we sadly lost II Silver. Here we go, guys, the final race of the evening. Who's going to take the race win here this evening? It's been an awesome night's worth of racing and I do not want it to end, but sadly this is it, and we'll be moving to the Silverstone International Circuit. Make sure you tune in for that, and I think there's a bit of weather lurking about as well, so possibly we could have some great racing there. But we are about to get underway for the feature race here at Imola for round 3, round 1, season 2 of the Clio Cup Championship. As we are all now synced up and ready to go, the revs will rise, the lights come on, here we go, the final race of the night, and we're away. The only G with like a sluggish start by the looks thing. John Boy looks like he's got a better start. No, he doesn't. So G has a decent start and will lead them into turn 1. John Boy right onto the back of these two. These two have had some cracking races over the past. But keep an eye on Dan, who goes down the inside and makes contact with John Boy. They both spin. Oh, they both get it together. And that is it. The only G's gone. That's given the chance of the only G to disappear. John Boy has now got Moto Morgan on his outside. Morgan trying to squeeze him and stop him from going down the inside. But John Boy goes back down the inside. And Moto Morgan will have to slip in that position. Falguest is right behind as well, as the cameraman does a terrible job of showing where everything is. But G's gone. G's disappeared. As Dan's losing positions left, right and centre. He's now starting to lose out to Falguest. Grandasty's on a comeback, and so is Delore. These two trying to find their way back, but the only G, after half a lap, has got a near enough a 2-second gap from John Boy. As these guys will be battling out. Dan down the inside of Falguest. He pushes and shoves, and Falguest goes wide. Dan will have to go back up into that 4th place position. Falguest will just have to wait a little bit longer. Nick De Villa's involved as well. Nick De Villa hasn't got any lights on, so he really needs to be popping his lights on right now. Oh, as Kurt goes up the back of him. There's all sorts of chaos. Vliga hits him. Grandad Steve benefits from that, and Cobb by the looks of things. A lot of guys gaining positions out of that. Little bit sloppy there from those guys. And that's just going to allow the rest of the pack to disappear. As we got Vliga down the inside. And he gets through and goes past and sticks behind his brothers. There's more contact. Jay and Sam Thumfinger in the background as well. Motor and Morgan is now up into second place. Has John Boy lost out here to Morgan? Morgan goes down the inside and holds John Boy out wide there and is not able to get past. Valguest is right onto the back of Dan as well, as John Boy is trying to get back past Motor and Morgan. It's going to be difficult to tell which car is which due to the lights, but we'll try our very best to see where all the action is. But John Boy and Morgan are losing out big time to the Only G. G leads this way and now wants to extend his gap. He needs to get some decent points under his bag. He's not had the best start. Oh, the foul hits the grass and he spins out. He's got to get going as quick. Oh, and he makes contact with Delore. Delore's going to drop right back of the pack, and he does so. So Valguest got lucky there. Delore hitting him and straightening him back out, and that's allowed him to just lose a couple of positions. This race with Valguest isn't going his way, but the Only G is now extending his gap from Motoring Morgan. Dan's coming back at John Boy. John Boy just seems to be struggling a little bit in this race. I'm not sure why, but he's not quite got the pace of Morgan and G. You see there, Dan goes past John Boy. Can Dan stick to the back of the leaders as well and try and catch try and catch the Only G as well? You'll see later on, best of the rest is Nick DeVilla at the minute, and he's got a lot of pressure from Grandad Steve, who is looking to try and make a move on Nick DeVilla if he possibly can. Oh, Nick really twitchy there. He just keeps it together, and Grandad Steve not able to capitalise on that. John Boy is still onto the back of Dan. Valguest not too far behind these guys, and the rest of the packs are all a little bit strung out from one another. Oh, as I said, that Sam Thumfinger's right onto the back of McGlenn. He's looking to the outside. That's going to be a brave move if he gets the job done. WSRCJ's not too far behind as well. Cobb's dropped right back. I'm not sure what's happened to Cobb. He's lost out massively to the leaders. As Motoring Morgan is trying his best to stick with G, but G needs to extend the gap and start gaining some points if he possibly can. Dan, John Boy and Morgan are all going to be battling one another in a minute, and G is just going to keep creeping ahead. Grandad Steve has managed to get past Nick DeVilla. Valguest has got to slow down. He's letting him out. So what happened that was a good start is now going terribly wrong for Valguest. Race 3 isn't going his way, and he loses out to Nick DeVilla. Nick DeVilla now back up into 6th place position, just trying to stick with these guys. John Boy also trying to stick to the back of Dan at this precise moment and is trying to find a way past Motoring Morgan. But John Boy is not able to do anything about it, as I hear a bit of contact from behind. Grandad Steve and Valguest. Vliga is right onto the back. Vliga and Valguest make contact. This is going to allow Nick DeVilla to go down the inside. Valguest is on your outside. Woo! And Nick really hangs it in there, and he just loses out to Valguest there. And Valguest is now onto the back of Vliga, as Nick DeVilla has lost out a little bit of time there. We go back to the leaders. John Boy's right on the back of Dan once again. And can he find a way past? We will see. John Boy looks to the outside. Can he get the job done? No, he can't. Dan is able just to hang on a little bit. The guys are matching one another. G on his own, doing the mid 202s, while Morgan and Dan are a little bit faster. I think John Boy is the fastest out of these lot. Morgan has run wide. That might be a slowdown for Morgan. He might be under pressure from Dan. Dan is going to be wanting to make a dive down the inside. No, he hangs in there. John Boy's right behind as well. John Boy is one of those drivers who will patiently wait for an opportunity. The right opportunity will come, and normally it pays off. Dan has got to run on Morgan. What is John Boy watching? He's going to be watching these two go side by side. They're going down the crest now. What does John Boy do? He sticks to the racing line. He'll try and get a better drive if he possibly can. But Dan down the inside. Morgan gets a twitch, but Dan gets the job done. And now John Boy's down the inside of Morgan. And Morgan will have to conceal the place, but he rubs him a little bit. That's going to allow Dan to escape. And all this has managed to do is allow G to build a gap of 3.5 seconds. He's gone. He's taking this opportunity and disappearing. John Boy in third, going side by side with Motoring Morgan. They're bound out for the final podium positions, and at the minute Dan in that second place position. I do not think this fight is over. These guys will be battling out for the rest of the night, and if G makes a mistake, these guys will be back on him again. But Dan is now starting to extend the gap to Motoring Morgan and John Boy at the minute, but John Boy not able to stick to him. Grandad Steve currently in 5th, Falguest in 6th, Valigox dropped down to 7th, 8th is Nick Villa, 9th is Delore, 10th place goes to Craig, 11th is Kurt, who's under pressure from Sam. Sam looks like he's got a run on Kurt V, but is not able to do anything about it. WSRCJ currently in 13th place. These guys battling it out. Jay's probably got a lovely view. He's got the run on Sam. He's just going to have to conceive a little bit, but Kurt will hang on to that 11th place position. Sam in 12th and Jay in 13th place. McGlenn in 14th and Cobb bringing up the rear in 15th place position. Morgan is now starting to get back onto the back of Dan. Can he gain an opportunity and find a way past him as G extends his lead? The only G leads the way. Got a comfortable gap at the minute. Can just control the pace. Motoring Morgan and Dan find it out for second with John Boy right behind them. What are they going to do pit stops wise? We're only on lap 4. And we still got 13 laps left to go. So plenty of time for these guys to make some opportunities. Grandad Steve has now got a bit of pressure from Falguest. Falguest trying to redeem himself a little bit. Try and gain some more points. John Boy and Falguest I think are probably looking good on the points at this precise moment. And John Boy at the minute will be outscoring everyone else bar G, Morgan and Dan as John Boy bails for the pits. He wants clear air. So he is coming. Oh no, no, no. John Boy has got a 10-second penalty. Beligurk is in. Has he managed to get it stopped? No, he's got a 10-second penalty as well. Nick the Villa out of the pitters is the only one who's not got a 10-second penalty. John Boy will be kicking himself right now. He'll be so frustrated with that. G has lost time somewhere, because the gap was near enough 3 seconds, and he's lost a whole second to Dan and Morgan. Dan and Morgan are actually lapping a little bit quicker than G. So what will G do? Will he pit or will he just try and extend his gap? Cobb is in as well. John Boy comes back in 11th place position, and he has got a heck of a lot of work to do now. He's got to hope that the leaders make an instant or make contact with one another so he can get himself back into this race. But at this precise moment, Uni G still leads this race, with Dan with pressure of Morgan in 2nd and 3rd. 4th place goes of Grandad Steve, who's got his good mate Falguest not too far behind. These two have cracking fights when they get going. And Falguest still has broken his lights, so we can't switch them back on, because I do know for a fact, Falguest, that car does have lights, because I've driven it and it definitely does have a set of lights. So if you're able to find the lights, that would be absolutely fantastic. We don't want a bad reputation for that lovely 16 green livery car. So once you do find an opportunity, just there we go. Good lad. He's listening. He's listening. Don't want to play the silent assassin now. It is nice to see that car on track. It's a bit weird not driving it, but well, to be fair, on another league I've been sat behind it most of the time, so but no, Falguest doing a great job chasing down Kurt. Oh, as we see, Motoring Morgan and Dan both coming in, and they both slowed right down to make sure Falguest is into the pits as well. So all these guys opting to take their pit stop. Grandad Steve extends his gap and will be looking to try and make an opportunity. As I go on to Kurt, he's now opting to take his pit, as also Craig by the looks of things, and McGlenn. So everyone's coming in this lap for some reason. Sam Thumbfinger extends the gap. So there's John Boy. Where is Dan and Morgan? Dan's still getting pit. Morgan's got going. Dan's going to have to wait a little bit longer for Morgan to come past. There's John Boy. Now, the problem here at Imola is the pit lane is very, very long. Morgan is just coming to the end of the pit lane. He'll be able to get off the limiter now. John Boy's exits down the straight. He can see Morgan. Has he jumped Dan? Not quite. So John, he's cleared Dan, but he needs to catch Morgan. 10 seconds he has to find as well. That's a lot to ask from him, but he is trying his absolute best right now. John Boy has got to be absolutely kicking himself after that silly little error into the pit stops. One of the things I used to test constantly before, well, once I joined the Sim Zone, I never used to practice pit-ins, just the fact because I never used to do any races with them. And yeah, now in time as I race and there's any pit stops involved, you always got to practice the pit in and out so you know what you're dealing with. But John Boy is now behind Motoring Morgan. What can he do? Morgan defending from John Boy, but John Boy has got that 10-second penalty, so Morgan probably doesn't have to race him that hard. So can Morgan hold up John Boy enough to go into the clutches of Dan? That'll be more points towards Morgan. But G staying out at this precise moment, and he's going long. Yoni G now will start lap 7 of the race. As Grandad Steve opts to pit, and he obviously doesn't get that mistake. He doesn't get a 10-second penalty. Delore and Sam Thumbfinger, I believe, are the only ones left to do a pit stop. And Sam Thumbfinger is in to serve his mandatory pit stop. Yoni G and Delore are the only ones left to pit. Look at Motoring Morgan. He's right onto the back of John Boy. John Boy is going to hold him up for as long as he possibly can. While these guys are fighting, it's just helping G out that little bit more. Grandad's coming out, but he's not going to be in this fight. Motoring Morgan wants the inside. They rub doors. Morgan gets on the grass. John Boy to the outside. Grandad Steve will come out ahead of Falgas still, but Morgan will get the inside. Oh, Morgan just pushes John Boy out a little bit cheeky of Morgan there. That's going to allow Dan to get the run. He's going to go around the outside, but John Boy's trying to shut the door, but is unable to do so. And there we go as they go through that sector now. John Boy lost out. Look in the background. Grandad Steve and Falgas are going side by side. Falgas looking to the outside of Grandad Steve. Grandad Steve goes defensive and holds the hairpin. Can Falgas go right around the outside? He is unable to do so. And Falgas will get that position on Grandad Steve, but he has got a penalty. Dan is now onto the back of Motoring Morgan. Can he find a way through at this precise minute? Not at the moment. So when does Yoni G pit? And that answers my question. He comes in this lap. Also, when will Delore come in? G is in. Motoring Morgan and Dan are batting it out. Has G done enough to make sure he clears these guys enough? They have been racing hard. They have been losing time racing one another. Delore's in as well. So we will see where they come out. Motoring Morgan and Dan are going at it. Dan down the inside. He's gone for a late lunge and he gets the job done. He pushes Morgan wide. Morgan will just have to wait a little bit longer. G is exiting the pits and should have these guys covered quite easily. In the background, Grandad Steve is back ahead of Falgas. These two having a cracking fight. Yoni G exits the pit, and Motoring Morgan and John Boy and all those are not within sight. There goes G in the background, but there is Motoring Morgan and Dan. They're still behind G, who's got a 3.1 second gap. He's found a little bit of time, not a lot. But Motoring Morgan goes back into second place. Dan in third. John Boy's just going to have to try and extend his gap to Grandad Steve and Falgas, who are too busy fighting each other as Grandad Steve goes across the grass, and that's allowed Falgas through. Can Falgas bring the gap down to John Boy enough so that he can gain from the penalties? We will see a little bit later on what else has been going on. Sam Thumbfinger has now got himself ahead of Craig and Kurt. So Sam is on the move a little. Oh, Sam touches the curb. He gets it sideways. Oh, there's a big hit. Big hit between Sam and McGlenn there. Sorry, Kurt there. Kurt and Sam have come together. Sam is in the wall, and I think Sam is done for this race. He's not moving. He's not going anywhere. I think Sam has had enough by the looks of things. Oh, it's Motoring Morgan has got a slowdown by the looks of things. And then John Boy just got stuck right behind him. So John Boy getting caught out by Morgan's slowdown there a little bit. As Morgan is still trying to get back on John Boy after that little slowdown there. So all these guys have got a slowdown penalty. Dan has got one. Morgan hasn't. G is now starting to extend his gap a little bit more. It's just gone a little bit easy for him as Falguest in 5th. Grandad in 6th. Delore in 7th. Leaguk in 8th. Got Craig in 9th. Nick De Villa is in 10th place position. With McGlenn not too far behind these guys. Kurt currently in 12th and Cobb down in 13th. And Sam Thumfinger has retired from the race. As the only G still leads this race with 8 laps still to go and extending his gap ever so much. Dan has now got pressure from John Boy once again. Motoring Morgan isn't too far behind. Morgan will hope to try and gain from this if he can. He will gain in penalties if he keeps it on track. Falguest and Grandad Steve are still going at it. These two have been my favourite to watch all night because they just keep swapping positions. Very similar ability guys. And I race them on another league as well, and these guys are great fun to race against. Absolutely clean races. They're hard, but they are great fun to race against, fair at the same time. So these two are having a cracking fight, and we'll come back to them in a minute as Dan is under pressure from John Boy. John Boy looking to the outside. Can he get the job done? No, he can't. So John Boy is in 3rd place at the minute. I'll just have to wait a little bit longer, but he has got that 10-second penalty. More these guys fight, the more G gets away. Oh, Morgan goes really deep. That'll be a slowdown for him. A big slowdown as well, probably. So he'll lose out. Falguest is still ahead of Grandad Steve. Grandad's trying to find a way past if he possibly can. The Vlieguk brothers of Delore. Oh, Delore's come to a stop. He's letting his brother through, probably for a slowdown. Nick De Villa still got pressure from Craig. These two having a good little scrap as well. But John Boy is right on the back. And I think G has had a slowdown. Yes, by the looks of things, he's made a mistake somewhere. So the gap is now less than 2 seconds. So Dan and John Boy can see him. You can see him ahead trying to catch him up if he possibly can. John Boy and Dan, can they work together to catch the only G? G starts the 10th lap of the race. They're running out of time. 7 laps still to go. Can they catch G? Falguest and Grandad still going at it, still swapping position. Do you know what? I'm going to go on board with Grandad because this is great fun between these two. Grandad Steve bouncing over the curb. Falguest also bouncing over the curb. These two having a cracking fight. John Boy still on the back of Dan. We'll keep an eye out for the good fights at this precise minute. But Grandad Steve, we'll just keep an eye on those two. Look, he's a little bit closer as well. John Boy's right onto the back of Dan. If John Boy didn't have that penalty from speeding in the pit lane, he'd be looking so good for a race win. But he's just going to lose out. He needs to be making moves and moving forward. And he gets down the inside of Dan. Dan turns in on John Boy. And John Boy, I don't think he really needs to give the place back as such. Dan's down the inside and gets through. I think Dan turned in. I think John Boy was fairly clean and fair. John Boy looks all over the back of him as well, and he can't find a way through. Falguest and Grandad have just gapped each other a little bit. Grandad trying to stick with him. But Dan's defending so hard right now. John Boy looking to the outside. He gets the job done. But they make contact. Dan gets the run on John Boy. Motoring Morgan's now coming back. And that mistake that the only G has had, is the gap's opened back up again because these guys are battling. The only G at the minute is being given this race win. Oh, John Boy gets a little bit loose on the braking. Morgan's back. And remember, Falguest and Grandad Steve aren't too far behind, so they will benefit from John Boy's penalty. So John Boy's struggling now. Morgan is now passing John Boy. Dan has got away from these guys a little bit. G crosses the line and does a 2:02.9, so he's now extending his gap. He's starting to pull away. Dan and John Boy are making mistakes, and that's allowed Motor and Morgan to get past John Boy. Now, at this precise minute, Morgan would also outscore that. Oh, as Morgan makes a mistake and John Boy's back through. Can John Boy catch the back of Dan? Oh, G's had a slowdown. G's had a slowdown, and that's allowing Dan to catch onto the back of him. So G has made a mistake somewhere. That's allowing them to catch. Falguest and Grandad Steve are slowly, very slowly catching the leaders as well. Oh my god. Last few laps to the end, and it's anyone's game other than John Boy's at the minute. So any of the leaders can win this race still. I reckon Falguest and Grandad Steve can still win this race if anything happens to the leaders. Delory and Vliga, the brothers, are just having their own little scrap. And Nick De Villa and Craig are having a good little fight as well. But the Only G still leads this race. The gap has come down to 1 second, with Dan in second with a penalty. John Boy with a 10-second penalty. Motor and Morgan, no penalties, but he's been suffering with slowdowns. Falguest in 5th place. Grandad Steve in 6th. We go back 10 seconds back to Delory in 7th. 8th place is Vliga. 9th place is Craig and Nick De Villa. These two having a great little scrap here for 9th and 10th place position. Great racing from those guys, and I believe we've lost another driver. We've lost WSRCJ as well earlier on, I think. Nick De Villa trying to find a way past Craig, but he can't do so. As I go back to the leaders, not really much has changed. G still leads. Morgan's dropped off the back a little bit more, and we still got Falguest and Grandad Steve battling each other. They match each other's lap times near enough to a couple of tenths. They match each other all the way around. I think Grandad's using Falguest now to catch the back of Motor and Morgan if they possibly can. But the closest fight is on track is probably this. Craig and Nick De Villa. Can Craig hold on, and can Nick De Villa find a way past? He's unable to do so there. As John Boy once again catches onto the back of Dan, but is unable to do anything about it. G looks like he's made another mistake. He's given up a little bit more time again to Dan and the others. So look at the times. Dan's got a 3-second penalty. John Boy's got 10. Falguest has got 4. Grandad none. 12 of Vliga. 2 for Delory. 1 for Craig. Nick De Villa 3. And 2 for McGlenn. Oh, wrong buttons. There we go. So Nick has actually got ahead of Craig. Craig's looking to try and make a move back if he possibly can, but can't find a way past at this precise minute. So Craig drops back behind Nick De Villa. Go back to the leaders as it's now down to half a second. Dan is catching. He's coming back at the Only G. 5 laps still left to go, and it's all coming to the wire to the very end. Dan, even with his penalty, needs to clear G. G's got this covered at the minute. He could let these guys through and he would still win this race. But he does not want to give an inch. He does not want to show he is weak. He just wants to make sure that he is the top dog in these Clios. Can we get a third different winner here tonight? As G bounces right over the curb. Gets on 2 wheels. So Dan in second, John Boy in third. This is kind of pointless because there's 2 with really bad penalties and 1 without any. The only other man that can win this race is Morgan, and he's 2 seconds back. The only way that one of these 2 could win is something bad happens to G. He just needs to hold them off for a couple of laps. But at this precise minute, the Only G is doing everything he needs to do. He just needs to calm down a little bit with the track limits, and he should be golden here tonight. Falguest and Grandad Steve are still 6 seconds behind these guys at this precise moment. John Boy's got a run here on Dan. Dan's looking to try and hold that position, but John Boy wants to try and gain as many places as he can and try and pass G and disappear as quickly as he can. In these Clios, it's very difficult to get out on your own and leave the other cars behind. Oh, as John Boy clips the curb by the looks of things. He loses a little bit of run there. G is under pressure though. Into the second chicane we go. Dan on the back of John. John Boy looking for any move. He goes defensive. Morgan's not able to stick with him. He's a lot slower than these guys. He's not able to stick with the guys in front. Falguest and Grandad Steve are going to catch Morgan at this rate. But the leaders are pulling away at this precise minute from Motoring Morgan. He's not able to stick with this fight. John Boy, 10-second penalty. Dan, 3-second penalty. Can John Boy find a way past? And can anything happen to G so that he can take this win? It's very unlikely. John Boy at this precise minute will finish 6th place as it stands. So something's got to happen. He needs to start pushing. He needs to start gaining points. He needs to start trying to gain some time so the others behind him are unable to catch him due to the penalty. One silly little error in the pit entry and it's losing him this race. He could have won here tonight. And at the minute, it's not looking good for John Boy. He needs to find a way past G. G not really fighting him. He goes to the outside, which will give him the inside for the penultimate corner. John Boy around the outside. Both on the brakes at the same time. John Boy's going to hang it out. He's going to try it. G's giving him the racing room, giving him the racing space. But John Boy hasn't got the drive, so G will just hang on and will go back across the line and lead another lap. John Boy trying everything he possibly can. Look at him, he's looking for any opportunity to get past. He's going down the inside. G's going to give him the space. It's very easy to squeeze another car in there, but John Boy has been allowed that position. G is on the outside. He doesn't want to let Dan through as well, but John Boy goes down the inside. John Boy and G have raced each other multiple times, and they are very, very good when they race one another, and it proves here again. Verstappen and Hamilton, that's how you go through turn 1. Brilliant driving from these two, and at the minute, with the way they're going, they're extending their gap to Morgan. Oh, John Boy makes a mistake. That's not what he needed. He had the opportunity. He had the chance to try and extend the gap. But he's now lost to G. And Dan is too close to him. So Dan might make a move now. And also, while this is going on, Morgan is losing time to Falguest. Falguest, last lap with a 2:01.9. Falguest is on the move and is trying to catch Motoring Morgan. Grandad Steve is just off the back of these guys as well. Vliegak is now under pressure from Nick de Villa. But we go back to the leaders, and the only G still leads the race with Dan in second. Dan with a 3-second penalty, I still believe. Yes, he's still got that penalty. Excuse me, guys. My voice has completely gone at this precise moment. But G and Dan still batting out. G is still looking good for this race win. There's not much Dan can do. He needs to pass G and make a 3-second gap, but I don't think that's going to happen. Motoring Morgan has now got Falguest breathing down his neck. John Boy has dropped off the toe of these two and will probably struggle to get near them. So, a 6-second gap. 6 seconds for Falguest as well. So, John Boy would still lose out to him. He would still finish in 6th place. That one silly error in the pits has just cost him his race, his podium chances. So, G exits the final corner for lap 14 and will start lap 15 in the lead of this race. He has been in control of this. He has not looked under pressure whatsoever, and everything is going to plan as of right now. Falguest at the minute, to me, I think will have the fastest lap, so he will gain an extra point there. But at this minute, G is still looking good for the race win, and my leg has got caught on something. I am now free. Dan in second place. This will be good points for him. He just needs to make sure he gaps Morgan a little bit. And John Boy has lost more time, so he's now with Morgan and Falguest. 10 seconds still, so he hasn't gained a penalty there. So he's probably had a slow down. He had to back off the throttle a little bit. But Morgan is right behind him now. Morgan will gain from this. Falguest will gain from this. So at this precise minute, John Boy will be finishing in 6th place position. Grandad Steve not quite able to stick to the back of these guys. Dan's right onto the back of G. But again, there's not much he can do. There's not much space he can get past. As G's just putting his car in exactly the right place. His defensive drive has been phenomenal here. He has not looked flustered whatsoever. John Boy and Morgan are still going at it. Falguest in 5th place position. Grandad Steve just behind. He runs a little bit wide. That'll be a slowdown for him. He doesn't want to give away too many slowdowns because he's still within reach of John Boy to gain an extra position. G bouncing over the curb there to go through the chicane. They've got a couple more laps left to go. Lap 15 of 17. Great racing all the way down. John Boy in 3rd. Mocho Morgan 4th, Falguest in 5th place position. These guys are going at it. Falguest really needs to start trying to make moves on some of these drivers. Morgan hasn't got any penalties, so he won't gain much from him. John Boy, he will. And Grandad C just behind these guys as well. He's starting to lose touch with these guys a little bit. But G goes on to the penultimate lap. He crosses line to start lap 16. And Dan is still with him. These two are actually starting to extend the gap from these guys. Mocho Morgan down the inside of John Boy. Falguest looks like he's going to go with him as well. John Boy is going to try and stick with it. Morgan can't find a way through. Oh, Falguest just clips the back of Morgan. And Falguest will lose more time here. So, will he lose out to John Boy? No, he's just going to stick with him. As I look down the grid, there's a little bit of a fight going on between Cobb and Kurt. They're looking relatively close towards the end of this race. But G still leads this race with Dan in 2nd, John Boy in 3rd, and Mocho Morgan in 4th. Guys, get your votes in for driver of the day. It's been so difficult to pick and choose who has been the top dog here tonight. But we're going to have to narrow it down as best as we can. And it looks like we're going to have 3 different winners here tonight. Jamie in the comments saying, is G aware the drivers behind him have penalties while he is racing? Yes, he will. Just as we can see here, the names of the drivers come up on the left hand side, and if he has it set to it, he will be able to see the drivers will have a penalty. He will see that John Boy has a penalty. He will see that Dan has a penalty, and he will know that he just has to go around and do what he needs to do. The only G is doing everything right to take a race win. It'll be 3 different winners here tonight at Imola. And then we go to round 2 at Silverstone International. What an epic night of racing so far we have had. This is the new season, season 2 here at the Sim Zone of the Clio Cup Championship. Anyone's game to win the championship this season, due to the fact that I will not be racing this season and not be defending my title. But the only G will come across the line now to start the final lap of this race. He's looking good for another race win here. Multiple race winner in the Clios, multiple record holder, and this is why he's good in the Clios. He can control the pace, he can control what's going on around him, and he's doing a fantastic job. Dan is unable to do anything about it. Morgan in 3rd now. John Boy, oh, gets on Morgan. Morgan makes a mistake, and that's allowed John Boy through. But again, it's completely pointless because Morgan knows that John Boy has got that penalty. Falguest is not too far behind these guys. Grandad Stee at the minute is just out of that window of John Boy. So John Boy at the minute will finish in 5th place position. Oh, his G's made a mistake. So Dan needs this race now. Dan needs to make sure he gains enough time on G. But how much time? 3 seconds is the gap, and I don't think he'll be able to make 3 seconds in 1 lap. That unless G makes a massive mistake. But G looks like he's going to take a race win. Guys, if you've loved the action here, then make sure you've hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit the bell to be notified. Massive thank you to our Patreons as well for this evening for all the stuff you guys do. It goes a long way, and it gives you an awesome stream, and the benefits from it as well are big. And if you want to have a look at that, then head over to the website www.thesimzone.com. have a look at that, have a look at the Discord, have a look at the other social media on Instagram. It's been an awesome night's worth of racing. It's nice to be back once again for the Clio Cup Championship. The Sim Zone new season is back. Season 2 on ACC, Assetto Corsa Competizione, with GT3s later on the PC and PlayStation. Dan is going to come home out of the final corner to lead them across the line, but it will be the only G to take the race win on penalties. Brilliant stuff from the only G. Well controlled. One little mistake, and the only G tonight will take the race win here this evening. Congratulations to the only G. Dan coming home in 2nd place position. Mocho Morgan will come home in 3rd place, rounding off the podium. John Boy will finish behind Falguest, so that's 4th and 5th decided. And sadly, Grandad Stee is not quite close enough to John Boy to gain from that either. So John Boy will hang on to 5th place position. Dolore looks like he's going to come home for 7th place position. Remember, guys, later on this week, like I said, there will be the Project Cars GT3 Championship, ACC as well for GT3s on the PC and PlayStation, and we finish things off with the touring cars. Nick de Villa will come home in 8th place position. Craig will finish in 9th, with Lee Gurk in 10th place position. McGlenn will come home in 11th, I think. No, Cobb will come home in 11th place. No, he'll go home in 10th as Fleeguk had so many penalties. Guys, that is it for the Clio Cup Championship. The Only G takes the race win here in the final race tonight. 2nd place goes the way of Dan VWB, and 3rd place goes to Motoring Morgan. 4th is Falguest, 5th is John Boy, 6th is Grandad Steve, 7th is Dolore, 8th is Craig, 9th is Nick de Villa, 10th is Cobb, 11th is Kurt V, 12th is McGlenn, 13th Fleeguk, Sam Thumbfinger retired, and we lost WSRCJ and II Silver as well. Fastest that went the way of Falguest, well, it's the things with a 2:018. So congratulations to Falguest for the extra point. But that is it, guys, for the Clios. Massive congratulations to our 3 winners of Dan VWB, the Only G, and also Grandad Steve. Guys, make sure you tune in next week. Silverstone International